Okay, thank you very much. I've been in this field for 6 years and tried different approaches. I was consulted by Alexey Moskalev and Vadim Gladyshev in 2018, and they brought to me the idea that the only longevity way is to cross-check yourself with many parameters as possible. And I realized that maybe this is the best approach to fight the longevity and early death causes. And we developed an app for tracking up to 400 parameters online. And we realized that the audience, they don't need it. We were trying to change their mindset. And you, as the people from longevity field, you know better than me that the mindset is the biggest warrior we should battle with. And it's coming from regular people up to the presidents and high profile individuals who possess huge powers and money, and they do everything besides fighting the causes of death. And let's imagine it's like an asteroid which is approaching the Earth. We all have like 350,000 hours left, and
It's always here.
Yeah, well, we are all facing that asteroid coming, and nobody's doing anything to. I mean, there are about 1,000 people who are doing something, but in general, it's nothing to fight this asteroid, which is going to kill everybody. So we were developing different projects. We tried to approach high-profile individuals, launching Longevity Scientific Resort. Then we were trying to make the longevity leaflets for the customers of different hotels, that they can just make their health checkup during their vacation. You know that when you go to the vacation, you're just your mindset, and you're trying to do something new, and you're open to lots of new things. So all that things didn't work out. We realized that the best thing in longevity, since there are not so many investors, is to be self-sufficient company. So we even hired a great team of developers who are working for equity-based model. So we were just having like zero burn rate flow, and that's why we survived 6 years of our operations. And but of course, the motivation of that people who are working without money is by the times, especially 6 years, is dropping low, and me myself as well. So I was just thinking, what is the best way to combine, to blend the current technologies with longevity, and realize that the only way today, besides making the cross checks for yourself, if you are targeted to live actively and you want the radical longevity today without fundamental science involvement, because it will take years, decades for all the interventions which are breaking the news to go on the market. So there are two basically longevity recipes: is to cross-check yourself with the hundreds or maybe thousands of parameters 3-4 times a year, and as a physical person, and as a business industry, the only way is to make AI simulations of clinical trials. Because with AI, with machines, we can replicate and we can predict what's going to happen in real world clinical trials in a weeks using AI, than what's going to happen in the years to come. So we developed technology to simulate clinical trials using the real world data, building the data set based on the current interventions which are already on the market, and to simulate, without looking at the results, of course, and simulate these interventions, and to see how our prediction model can make similar or better to what's existing using AI methods, and to try to build the prediction model based on that simulations. So in other words, we're taking the income data for any kind of clinical trials which have taken place 10, 15, 20 years ago. We make the same simulation. We make the simulation of the same interventions, and we can review the outcomes because these interventions are on the market already. Up to 3,000 of that simulations, we can build a data set, which can presumably, with a high accuracy, make the simulations of any kind of fundamental research, which right now is on the mouse or on any other stages, and in weeks to predict how these outcomes of the clinical trials will happen, but here, now, today. So we believe that this is the fastest way to fast forward the clinical trials on humans using AI technologies, and to change the mind of the FDA and the other government institutes to let the scientists to use the outcomes of these AI simulations so they can fast forward to get to the fourth clinical stage using the outcomes of these AI simulations. And we believe this can be a great breakthrough. So it could be interested, it could be in interest of this kind of potential groups of people, the high-profile individuals which are in different stages of their health, and they can really test on themselves the outcomes of clinical trials simulations. The scientist teams, basically medical doctors and big pharma. The market is quite the market is quite big for that, but I don't like any kind of predictions. I'm sorry, sometimes it's not working well. I don't like the predictions because I mean the predictions without using AI, because that's something which is could be like that or could be not. But the investors and the people from industry, they like this kind of approach. So we analyzed the potential of that market. The business model of that approach is to charge the institutions and potential customers for each stage of trial, which can be competitive to what it's been paid today. What we need is these 3,000 data sets of clinical trials, which already happened in life, but they are outside of public reach. We would like to find the teams of scientific groups which can review the outcomes of our models, which we can make using these 3,000 data sets. And we're offering a stake in our company regarding this this venture, and of course the priority access to the outcomes of these simulations. There are lots of technologies like ChatGPT and so on, and like previous speakers talked about, but the difference of our approach is that we use only evidence-based and people-reviewed outcomes, which, for example, ChatGPT or other engines are lacking. Since we're small, we are independent, we are faster to avoid any kind of internal and external barriers. We are lower at the cost since, like I said, most of the team is equity-based, but we need some small cash incentive motivation for the team. And like I said, we're 6 years on the market, longevity market, without risks to go bankrupt since our burn rate is 0. And we made some clinical trial simulations already, and the accuracy was up to 97%, which is quite high. And what I can say about simulations, it's a very nice approach to make the accuracy of the past clinical trials higher. So in other words, our accuracy can be higher than 100%, presuming that the previous clinical trials didn't meet the 100% barrier. And that's going to improve all the interventions which were developed to date using this simulation model. Actually, on one of the days I spoke with the Aubrey de Grey, and as a computer scientist, he approved that this method of making data sets built on previous clinical trials could be the solution. And he was expecting me to say that. And well, I didn't learn any computer science or medicine, but we came up to that. We came up to that conclusion. In the past, I was successful businessman. I had more than 6 successful projects, including one in Hollywood. I was advisor to Rupert Murdoch's M&A deal, and I passed. So I think if you can trust me, I can move forward the AI simulations and clinical trials and make it the same successful as I did the previous projects. And once again, I want to remind you, I know that you're in this field and you know that more than others, but with your everyday problems, you maybe forget that we have, with the audience, which is over 30, 40 years, only 350,000 averagely hours left. And let's forget about any kind of bureaucracy, any kind of formats of presentations, of reputation, of all that things which are going to eventually die in these 350,000 hours, and everything what we hold, knowledge, emotions, assets, money, whatever concerns, they're going to be gone. So maybe what we offer is not the perfect one, but at least it's worth of a try. Like, you know, when cryonics appeared, there were lots of skepticals, but I liked one comment. It's better to try than to freeze yourself than to be buried and to be eaten by the worms. At least you have 0 point whatever zeros and 1% chance. So this is the same thing. We should diversify all our efforts and to try to support any kind of teams behind any kind of initiatives, and especially to the new people to this market, to the longevity market, because I saw that I was participating in different conferences, and I saw that the organizers of longevity conferences, they don't like new names, unfortunately. And if you go to most of the longevity conferences, you'll see the list of the same people telling the same stories, pitching the same projects, a little bit maybe detailing what they have already pitched during last 3 or 5 years. So that's not helping to defeat the asteroid which is coming and will hit us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Oleg. We will take some questions.
Thank you, Oleg. David Wood here. Very interesting talk. What did you mean by saying you could have predictive accuracy of more than 100%? Surely 100%
no, let's
means everything.
Yeah, I understand.
How can it be better than 100%?
Yeah, you made. I understand what you're saying. For example, you made a clinical trial with the accuracy like 97% of efficiency and so on. So for us, it's like 100%. And if we make a clinical trial simulation of the same intervention, which had already 97%, our AI model can make it maybe 98%, right? So it's basically more than 100% to the basic values of the first clinical trial results. So by this, we can, in our model, of course, if some interventions were already reaching 100%, we cannot make more, right? But if it was before 100%, we can. If our AI prediction model gonna work better, we can enhance the results of previous clinical trials results. Or maybe we can find the mistake in them. So maybe they were wrongly led to the market, and we can prove that.
Okay. Thank you for that question. We have another one. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the talk. Very interesting. And actually, also following up on David Wood's question, and also a question I asked to the last speaker about how do you deal with uncertainty in those predictions? So there are various formalisms to do that, to kind of get a grip of how certain you are in those predictions, like those conformal predictions or predictor prediction sets or Gaussian process regression or some others. Are you looking into that?
Yes, of course. Before making this project of AI simulations, we have developed 30 disease prediction models based on top 20 diseases, and they're in use. I can send them, and basically they were in the core of our mobile application, which didn't find the attention on the market because people don't want to get 400 parameters to measure their 20 diseases. It's ridiculous. But we used the data sets, and we used human evaluation, like scientists, doctors, and so on. But the best solution is to use AI to verify what it have done. So in other words, we are reassuming the results with AI and trying to find the mistake until we're making hundreds or thousands recalculations, and these mistakes will be found, or the model will solve it. Regarding AI simulations, it's a little bit another approach, since we are predicting an answered question, basically. So that's why we need 3,000 clinical trials input data, which was already in the market. But like I said, it's unreachable, and people are very busy with their everyday errands, and they are not sharing even with the data which has already been made in a product and is on the market. And I'm just stopped wasting my time knocking on the closed doors. So once we're going to get these data sets of the previous done clinical trials, we can simulate, as I said, without looking at the results. We can simulate these clinical trials, and if we will improve or will match the result or find the mistake, and this mistake would be proven, we can build a prediction data set. So if the 3,000 clinical trials simulations where we can check the results would be approved by scientific teams like they were correct, we presume that this data set results can build a prediction model without a mistake. Of course, there are lots of doubts in that, but we say it's better to try and fail than not to try. And like I said, it's another chance to fight this asteroid which is coming and will kill us all anyway, unless we can speed up and not lose this 15 years of traditional way of bringing to market the interventions.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Oleg. Can you hear me? Yeah. So this is Jan Solos from in Silico Medicine. Good pitch. I mean, it was an interesting presentation. And as you rightly said, we did develop a system we call InClinical, which is essentially designed to clinical trial outcome prediction. And as you rightly said, it's an extremely hard problem to solve. We have published on this extensively, so you can look it up, where we've done some prospective studies with much lower accuracy than you reported. So I think we were between 78 to 90% accuracy, depending on the therapeutic area. So it's a hard problem to solve. So good luck solving it. Also considering how bad the data about clinical trial is out there, it's very biased, and it's very hard to actually use it for training anything meaningful. My question is, we work a lot with big pharma companies, and obviously they're all very in favor of exploring how we could simulate clinical trials, because obviously they see cost savings, significant cost savings in that approach. The problem is that the regulators are not actually prepared to accept this type of simulations as part of the sort of data package that you submit. So how do you see the commercial potential of this product, and what would be the ideal use case in your opinion?
Yeah, thank you. On the slide, sorry. On the slide which I represented as the competitive advantages and so on, we marked out as in silico as a, well, we don't count in this specific field as longevity anybody is competitive, because with Booking.com or TripAdvisor you can choose. But with what we do, I mean, all our society does in longevity, if you not support your partners, your competitors, you will die as your competitor, as a physical person, will die. So I put there some companies, including in silico, and the difference between us and the in silico is that we are focused on AI clinical trials, and in silico is more focused on the drug development. To drug develop, you need to confirm your clinical trials, right? So we are a little bit earlier stage than the drug development, and which is essential for companies like in silico. That's one part. The second part, like I said, we can test the AI simulation model after we have concluded more than, well, it's preferable 3,000 clinical trial simulations to build this kind of prediction model based on that. But we already made like 5 or 7 simulations with all reachable clinical trials input and output data, which is in public use. So once again, if this 3,000 simulations will show the same accuracy, this will open the doors to the commercializations of that. And I think with the new Trump administration and Mr. Kennedy, who is posting so many interesting posts regarding FDA, the AI simulations approvals by FDA could be fast forwarded and will open another commercial doors. Even if not, like I said, we're very independent. We removed everybody from our advisory boards. So I'm the solid person who just make a decision. I don't want to die. And I'm going to come all over the barriers for that particular aim. So for me, commercialization is number 2 place, because I realize if we will find the solution, the commercialization will come. If we won't find the solution, we'll be selling the blueprint olive oil on the websites.
All right. Thank you.
Any more questions?
Okay, thank you, Oleg, for that presentation. We will take a pause of 15 minutes now, and let's be back at 11 to